Is Invincible going to turn into Omni-Man? Is he really going to lose control and go on a killing spree, taking out villains left and right? Well, in this video, I'm breaking down the first 3 episodes and bringing you all the secrets of this new phase of Invincible: redemption, the Viltrumite Empire, Omni-Man's past, and much more. Let's go! Season 4 of Invincible is already underway on Prime Video. And even though we've never covered the previous seasons here, I'm such a huge fan of the show that I finally decided to bring this incredible universe to the channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys are into it too, so what do you say? Shall we start a new review saga, this time focused on Invincible? Whew! These 3 episodes are insanely good, and I've brought a lot of new stuff that many people haven't even seen in the comics, okay? There are some changes, but they were all for the better. And of course, there will be a little spoiler warning for this video, so brace yourselves. But enough messing around, let's get right into the breakdown. Just don't forget, smash that like button, because it helps you get the next videos with future breakdowns, and comment #Invincible so you keep getting more Invincible content. Let's go, guys. The series kicks off with a massive hangover from Season 3. Everyone is grieving and mourning, but at the same time fighting to rebuild the world after the Invincible War and Conquest attack. Invincible was one of the hardest hit. He's got a bad rep right now because of his fight with Omni-Man and because of Angstrom Levy and his evil variants during the war. His fight with Conquest made his image even worse. Regular people look at him with suspicion, especially after seeing multiple variants of him destroying everything. Honestly, if I were a normal person, I wouldn't want an Invincible flying around loose either. Makes sense, right? But this suspicion goes further. It also spreads to the heroes, and in this case, Invincible actually gave them a reason to be suspicious. Dinosaurus reminds me a lot of Thanos. Why? Because his ambition is, in a way, noble. He thinks big picture. In his vision, the world would be better off without humans. That's why the destruction caused by the Invincible War is actually a good thing for the world in his eyes. He also reminds me of the Hulk, but instead of transforming when he's angry, Dinosaurus wants to fix the entire world. I thought his introduction in the show was handled really well. It got straight to the point, explained his motives, and stayed very true to issue number 68 of the comics when he first shows up. I just didn't love Dinosaurus' design. He looks too smooth, lacking those scales from the comics that made him look way more intimidating. But okay, that's just a nitpick. This character is going to return, and trust me, it's going to be freaking awesome. But for now, what he brought to the table is more tied to Invincible. During their fight, Invincible almost killed David Anders. He legitimately considered the idea of killing him, believing that if he did, Dinosaurus wouldn't come back. The Guardians of the Globe definitely noticed that. And hey, check it out. Here's a pro tip for anyone looking to dive headfirst into this universe. If you haven't started Season 4 yet, or just want to rewatch the whole thing, you can actually try out Amazon Prime Video for 30 days free using the link in the description. That's plenty of time to binge watch everything and take advantage of that free Amazon shipping. Also, I've put together a special selection for those who, like me, can't wait for the next episodes and want to add these legendary stories to their collection. I've picked out some incredible graphic novels and highly detailed collectibles, so you can own a piece of this universe yourself. These usually fly off the shelves right when a new season drops, so grab yours to the link and help the channel keep this review saga going. Well, in the meantime, Eve created Invincible Inc, which is their security company, and that's basically it. But there's a difference here in the comics. In the comic, Eve creates the company to generate an income source so the couple can live together and take the next step, you know? Invincible didn't really love the idea of monetizing superhero work, but he went along with it anyway. In the show, however, it's different. They are donating the money to charity. That's cool, right? It shows Invincible's virtue. On the other hand, they are still technically living with their parents. Maybe they don't need the cash that badly right now. Another villain that popped up for the first time in the show was Universa. Her introduction was super comic accurate. Even the punch she throws is identical. But who is Universa? She's the queen of a dying planet. What does she want on Earth? Energy to save her planet, which is 8 times larger than Earth. You might ask, wouldn't it be easier to just lend her a little bit of energy? Yeah, if she just talked it out, maybe they could have worked it out. But she came in hot, throwing kicks, doing things her way. If she took enough energy to save her planet, Earth would dry up for sure. She first appeared in Invincible 69. As you saw, the source of her powers is that staff she holds. That staff is a royal heirloom from her planet. Basically, she's a mix of Thor and Wonder Woman. But she looks weak. No, she's actually crazy strong. That staff can wipe out entire cities. Her bad luck was running into Invincible. But chill, both of them will return. It's gonna be so dope. Well, the Sequids returned. It was a quick comeback, but they left a huge mark on the show. Invincible once again crossed the line that heroes are afraid to cross, and this time it was for real. He killed Russ, the astronaut host of the Sequid. I know, it wasn't an easy call. The other heroes probably would have done the same thing, but Invincible is the one who actually did it. That's what Cecil tells him later. You don't have to work for me, but don't decide on your own who lives or dies. Leave that to me, or at least ask for my opinion, please. Cecil knows that all of this could make Invincible worse, more unstable, maybe even more violent. And the problem is, this wasn't the first time. Invincible attacked Angstrom Levy with the intent to kill. He made sure to mash his head in, and later did the same thing to Conquest. Both came back to life, but the point here is that Invincible is reaching a point where he crosses the boundaries that heroes normally don't. Is he wrong? I don't think so. Against Levy and Conquest, there was no other choice. Now against Russ, maybe there was a way to spare his life, especially since in the show they gave a glimmer of hope with a Martian flying in with a device to take the Sequid off of Russ's head. In the comics, the scene didn't play out like that, okay? In issue number 70, the Sequids had broken most of their bracelets. If they had adapted the comic scene exactly, the audience would completely side with Invincible. But in the show, they left that loophole. If he had just waited, would Russ still be alive? I honestly liked what they did in the show. In fact, this issue escalates when Cecil calls Invincible in for a chat, and out of nowhere, Sinclair shows up. The conversation here is different. In the comic, Invincible comes back, Sinclair shows up and tries to justify it, saying the ends justify the means, that killing Russ wasn't such a bad thing. In the show, this chat was more fleshed out, and you could see that even Sinclair regretted and recognized the mistakes he made. Right now, guys, Invincible definitely needs a vacation. He's losing control, that's a fact. And everyone has noticed, and everyone knows what can happen when a Viltrumite loses it. Ah, but Omni-Man was evil, right? How are people supposed to tell the difference? Look, Omni-Man lived on Earth for years as a hero, a super nice guy. Who's to say his son won't do the same thing? That's the perspective a normal person has in the universe. I know he won't turn into Omni-Man, but that is definitely the fear Cecil and the other humans have. Omni-Man's past. Let's hit pause here and leave Invincible aside to talk a little bit about Omni-Man. The show gave us something brand new. Nolan's youth up until he became Omni-Man. I thought this was freaking awesome because they showed Argyle as a symbol of the Viltrumite Empire. He was the one who united the people and formed an empire, but that was barely shown in the comics. Another thing not in the comics are Omni-Man's parents. This is completely new, guys. Depending on how they adapt the comics, this could change a lot of things. What I thought was great is that this backstory shows the audience why he was violent. It's a way to help build his redemption arc, right? It helps us understand him better. Honestly, I even felt bad for Omni-Man. The guy was raised in a place where from childhood only the strong survive. If you're alive in the Viltrumite Empire, it's because at some point you killed someone. Otherwise, they kill you. Another major detail is the Scourge Virus. It killed billions of Viltrumites, leaving only 50 in the universe. A lot of people ask, but wouldn't it be easier for them to just breed among themselves again? They can't, because there are only 50 of them, and most are blood relatives. The offspring could be born with some kind of defect, and to the Viltrumites, that is unacceptable. And look how badass Omni-Man is. He was one of the few who survived the virus. Are Viltrumites today weaker than before? No. Actually, after being infected, they were weaker for a while, but then they recovered. If 50 Viltrumites are a threat to the universe, imagine if there were billions. They only didn't conquer the universe sooner because Thetus decided to betray Argyle. Viltrumite Weaknesses. The second episode focused on Omni-Man's story, but also on the Viltrumite weaknesses, and the show adapted practically everything from the comics. The Space Riders looked freaking awesome. They made the fight way more exciting than in the comics. The only thing I missed was his bike being made of a material that looks like a symbiote, but that might be shown later, or maybe they just changed it to make it easier to animate. Well, there were also the bugs, which actually had some concept changes. In issue number 67, it's shown that there was a plant called Flaxans that never stopped growing and was poisonous to Viltrumites, making them physically weak, kinda like kryptonite. So the Viltrumites filled that planet with those bugs. These bugs eat the plants so fast that they don't have time to grow. Omni-Man went back there with Alan, right? Hoping they could extract the poison from the bugs. The bugs were put there by the Viltrumites, but the show tried to exterminate them because they are poisonous. Another thing that was different was the battle with the Ragnars. Alan's girlfriend, Telia, isn't that important in the comics. In the show, they made her part of the mission, and she was the one who saved Omni-Man and Alan from the Ragnar's attack. The Ragnars are actually capable of devouring Viltrumites, but in the comics, Omni-Man saves Alan and the two manage to fly off the planet, especially since it doesn't make much sense for a ship that size to block out the planet's sun. Another detail is that Omni-Man doesn't go back to the ship. He's so pissed off at the captain that he prefers to fly back. The episode also name-dropped two allies of the coalition of planets. Tech Jacket, who is a human with Geldarian tech, he popped up in the Season 4 trailer, and Battle Beast, who is maybe one of the strongest dudes in the universe. Right now, you can say they have a really solid team to face the Viltrumites, but will it be enough? Conquest and Thragg. You guys know Conquest. You saw the guy beating the crap out of Invincible in Season 3. He's a guy who makes even Omni-Man shake in his boots. But even though he's so terrifying, he also gets on his knees. At the beginning of this season, we saw Conquest flee Earth and face Thragg. It's not just a matter of respect. Thragg is actually the strongest of all the Viltrumites. What I can't say for those who want to avoid spoilers is that this guy is the absolute strongest and the Grand Regent of the Viltrumites. Forget everything you've seen in the show so far. When this guy steps onto the scene, the show's power scaling is going to hit a whole new level. But what's his backstory? If I tell you, I'll spoil the whole plot of Invincible in this video. They'll probably tweak his story a bit for the show, but I'll just tell you the beginning, okay? You know the purge Omni-Man talks about to the kids? That purge happened after Argal died. The population was kind of lost and started killing off the weak to elect the strongest, who would be the new emperor. After 100 years of an all-out bloodbath, Thragg emerged as the strongest of all the Viltrumites and the new emperor and regent of the Viltrumite Empire. I'll leave the rest for the upcoming episodes. Thetus and the Scourge Virus. In the comics, Omni-Man doesn't hesitate much to help the coalition of planets. He thought he was the first Viltrumite to betray the Empire, and here's a massive difference in the story they changed for the show. The betrayal in the comics was hidden from the population for a long time. In the show, everybody knew there was a traitor. The plot got a little confusing, but now the show has managed to canonize it the right way. Another different detail is that Omni-Man threw down with Thetus in the show, and that makes sense. The show made a point to show that Omni-Man lived through all of that. He saw his mom and dad die because of the virus. That's not in the comics. They don't even show his parents in the comics. To me, the show is making the Viltrumite lore better and better. But are they going to use the virus? Yes, but not the way you think, okay? I'll explain it in the next episodes. There's a lot of crazy stuff still to come. Flaxans. One of my favorite arcs in Invincible is when Robot and Monster Girl take the fight to the Flaxans and go through the portal. I gotta say, the show fumbled a bit here. In the comics, the Flaxan army is way bigger than in the show. Those armors they used to fight Invincible make very little sense. In the comics, Invincible fights them while talking on his cell phone like it's a total joke, so there are no armors specifically built to fight Omni-Man. The Martian smashed several of those armors by himself. This tech was only made stronger in the show so that in the future, some other enemy can use it against Invincible. Mark my words, just like Cecil used the sound of that sea creature against Mark, they're going to find a way to use that armor tech. Another detail is that Robot didn't get an upgrade in issue 71. Robot has a massive suit of armor in this war, while the show just ignored that. And how did they defeat the Flaxans in the comics? The signal that anchors them to our timeline doesn't exist on the other side of the portal. Actually, those armors made for Omni-Man in the show are the armors that carry that signal in the comics. Robot figures this out and sends everyone running. Then he goes after them to finish them off in their own realm. But the Guardians of the Globe don't go with him. It's just Robot and Monster Girl. There is this difference, which, however small, shifts the moral standing of the heroes. The fact is that Robot and Monster Girl are entering an epic saga. Let's hope this season shows their return. It's going to be incredibly badass. I noticed they're trying to flesh out the relationship between those two a bit more. Like in that scene where Robot spits out the Sequid and Monster Girl kills it. She's in that scene just to make him reflect on Mark's actions. Is it worth killing the villain so he doesn't cause a bigger problem later? In the comics, Monster Girl isn't in that bathroom scene. Robot is the one who kills the Sequid. But what about Brit? Hold up guys, I'll talk about Brit in a separate video, just for him. Origin, powers, man, this guy has a ton of lore. I left a lot of stuff out, but I agree with you, the guy is a total badass. Young Omni-Man and Titan. That fight between Mr. Liu and Titan doesn't happen during this timeline in the comics, but it does happen in the Invincible Returns comic. The difference is that Oliver didn't take part in that brawl. Since it's a story that changes the original saga quite a bit, they used it as a narrative device to explore Invincible's anger and his bond with Oliver. I thought that fight with Mr. Liu was really cool. I thought the animation was way better than in Season 3. But these guys add nothing to the story. Well, for the show to put this fight in Season 4, it means they definitely have plans for Titan and Mr. Liu. The Order at the end of the 3rd episode shows that Machine Head gathered everyone back into the Order. The Order is like a crime syndicate with several powerful faction leaders, but everyone in there, man, is small potatoes compared to the true leader of the Order, Set. He's a super mysterious and powerful character. He showed up in the Guardians of the Globe comics leading the Order. He has several powers, but the main ones are super strength and mind control. His plan is to prepare the world for his father's arrival. Since it's a mystery box kind of thing, maybe the show will tie Set to the demons, who are also getting a brand new storyline in Season 4. The fact is, guys, all these villains and everything you've seen so far in the 3rd episode of Season 4 is a hook for an even bigger storyline. And that's what makes Invincible one of my favorite superhero shows. Seriously, this 4th season has me super hyped. Thragg, Omni-Man, Conquest, Battle Beast, heavy hitters only dropping this season. Wednesday, we get the next episode. I will definitely be right here with you guys. What rating do you give it? Stay tuned because I'm bringing reviews for the upcoming videos that just dropped, and comment #Invincible so you don't miss the next videos, which are going to be insane. High five, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell. You gotta hit the bell, man, otherwise you won't get the notifications. We're in this together. Thanks for being part of all this. See you next time, guys. I'm out.